All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're always looking for the newest tools and trends over at AI Agent Store, and this time we found something that's got us pretty excited, and we think you're going to want to hear about it.
Yeah, it really caught our attention. We've been diving into how AI can really shake things up when it comes to workflow automation. And we found a particular AI agent that's really making waves in that area.
So today we're going to dive into, what it can actually do, the potential, the impact, especially when you're thinking about things like supply chain, finance, really any business that deals with tons of data.
Right, exactly. So let's talk DeepSite. You can find it on the AI agent store, and it's all about making those everyday business processes way more efficient.
Okay, so I'm drowning in paperwork over here. What does this deep site thing actually do? Does it file it for me?
Well, not quite filing, but pretty close. Imagine all those invoices, reports, contracts. DeepSite can basically read them and pull out the important info automatically. Think about all the time you spend manually entering data. That's what DeepSite eliminates.
Wow, that's actually huge. So it can handle different formats, like different languages, different layouts.
That's the really cool part. They use something called Document Insider. Think of it like an AI brain that understands all those different ways information is presented. So it doesn't matter if it's a standard form or something more complex or even in a different language, it can still pull out the key details.
Okay, so who's this really for? Who benefits the most from something like this?
Well, we're talking supply chain managers, finance pros, operations managers,
Mm.
really anyone dealing with a high volume of documents. So you're managing a supply chain. Think about all those purchase orders, invoices, shipping docs. DeepSite could process all that automatically, making sure everything matches up, flagging any discrepancies. Huge time saver, right?
Definitely. Less room for error, too, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. And on the finance side, think about extracting key figures from reports, reconciling statements. All that tedious stuff can be automated. And for data analysts, it's a dream come true. Clean, structured data, ready to go.
Now, one thing that really jumped out at me was this autonomy level. 89%. That seems incredibly high. So how is it that this agent can operate so independently?
That's a really good point. 89% suggests it's using some seriously advanced AI techniques, probably leveraging something called RJ, that's Retrieval Augmented Generation, which means it can access external knowledge to better understand the context of the information it's processing. And probably ensemble learning, which means it's using a combination of AI models to verify accuracy. Think of it like a team of expert brains all double-checking each other.
But it's not fully autonomous.
Right. When we talk about full autonomy in AI, we're talking about levels 5 and 6. That typically means no human intervention is required at all. And while DeepSite is incredibly advanced, it likely still needs human oversight for those rare edge cases, just to make sure everything is running smoothly.
Makes sense. So let's get practical. Can you give me some concrete examples of how DeepSite is actually being used out there in the real world?
Definitely. The sources specifically mention its use in automating data extraction from all kinds of supply chain documents, purchase orders, invoices, you name it. And in finance, it's streamlining things like pulling key figures from financial statements. So you can imagine for a supply chain manager, this could mean automatically identifying any mismatches between an order and the invoice, preventing delays and potentially saving a lot of money.
Right, so it's not just about speed, it's about accuracy and preventing those costly mistakes that can happen when you're doing everything manually.
Exactly. And the bigger picture here is that by automating these repetitive time-consuming tasks, you're freeing up your team to focus on more strategic, higher-value work.
So from a technical perspective, what do we know about DeepSite?
Well, it's closed source, which means the underlying code isn't publicly available. And it seems to be mainly targeting industries like, supply chain management, finance, and overall business process automation.
And, when we look at the keywords associated with DeepSite, things like document automation, AI document processing, data extraction, it really highlights its core strengths.
Absolutely.
All right, so big picture, what's the key takeaway here for our listeners?
The takeaway is that AI agents like DeepSite are transforming the way businesses handle data. We're talking about a powerful tool that can automate complex tasks, integrate seamlessly with your existing systems, and ultimately lead to more efficient, more accurate, and more informed decision-making.
So for those of you listening, think about your own workflows. How much time are you spending on those manual data entry tasks? Could a tool like this fundamentally change how you operate, free up your time, and allow you to focus on the things that really matter?
And maybe an even bigger question to consider, as AI tools like this become more and more sophisticated, how might they impact your role and the future of your industry? So that's something worth thinking about.
Absolutely. And if you want to explore DeepSite and see what it can do for you, head over to aiagentstore.ai.
Definitely worth checking out.
Until next time, keep diving.